Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you say.
And welcome back or welcome to our channel. My name is Alyssa.
And I'm Noah. And we're the
Backpacking
Backpacking Beauty, your guide to budget travel.
Right guys, so today we're bringing you a budget guide to Prague, Czech Republic.
I'm so excited about this location. It's been on my list for forever. So let's go explore together.
Alright guys, so the next thing to quickly touch on is accommodations in Prague.
So the average nightly cost is $173 on Airbnb.
Obviously, as you can imagine, that does not fit within our budget, so we definitely recommend you opt for a hostel if you're staying in Prague. The cheapest one that we found was $11 Canadian per night, but we opted for one that was $15 per night, had a kitchen to use so we can make breakfast for cheap, and it was a little closer to the city center. Alright guys, so we just came in from Bratislava, Slovakia, and now we're in Prague, Czech Republic.
So we took a train from Bratislava and took about 4 hours for the train and cost us about 13 euros per ticket.
So not too bad, and we got here pretty quickly. It was a really easy train. And on the topic of transportation, to get around Prague, you can get a one single ticket that'll get you on one bus or tram, and that's about $140 Canadian.
Yeah, about that. And then there's also a 24-hour transit pass, which we will be doing today, and that costs about $7 and gives you access to all the transit within the city.
So I definitely think that's probably the bet if you're on a budget and you have like one really busy sightseeing day.
For sure. Okay guys, on to the sightseeing. We want to show you some of the things you have to do in Prague.
Let's go on an adventure. Okay guys, so we just got to the castle and we're trying to find something really cool.
So we want to go check out the changing of the guards, but we're running like super late.
It's like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
So wish us luck, hopefully we get there soon and you can see it too. Alright guys, so we made it and we got to see the changing of the guard and the flag ceremony, which is really cool. It happens every day at noon, so I definitely recommend you check it out if you're in Prague.
Totally worth it. Make sure you arrive a few minutes early. It is kind of hard to find and the gates pack up quick, so get a good spot. Okay, so now we're going to go explore the rest of Prague Castle.
So excited, let's go! See behind us, this is St. Vitus Cathedral. We will not be going in today because you do have to pay to get into everything. There's a lot of things that you can walk around for free and see as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just gonna walk around the castle, explore, and check out the line to even go buy tickets. It's pretty insane right now.
So we won't be doing that today, but let's explore for free and see what we can see. Everything that you can see within the castle. You can pay to get a ticket, but it's 250 koruna, which is
about $15 Canadian.
It's pretty steep because you just get access to 2 churches, a small palace, and you get to walk down a street that is really famous, but we just don't think it's worth it for us today.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of other things we want to pay to get into later today. Also, there's a bunch of other free things kind of on the outskirts of the castle area that we're going to go explore.
Yeah, so let's go check those out now. Alright guys, so we're at our next stop. It's the Castle Gardens, and it's a free place to go and check out.
Yeah, when we're in castles, we love to go check out the gardens, so this was a great place to go.
Alright, and I also heard in my research that there's peacocks all over here.
Love peacocks.
So
Ever since Lokrum Island, I've wanted to see more.
So we'll see if we can find some of those as well. Let's go. last part of the castle, and unfortunately it is closed
Of
because
course.
everything's always closed. So we were going to show you guys the deer moat. So there's a little walkway that's by the castle on the outskirts of it. It's supposed to be a really cool walk, and there's also a pedestrian tunnel that you can go underneath.
Yeah, it looked really interesting, a great place to walk and kind of get away from the crowds, but
Yeah, so try to come here, I guess, if you come in the future, but as for now, it's closed. I think they'll be opening it up again soon.
all
But
right.
for now, let's go get some food because I'm hungry already, and then we'll continue our sightseeing. Okay guys, so we just had lunch and it was, I would say, the best meal that we've had here in Prague so far.
For sure, it was amazing, and it was a dish that I've been really wanting to try.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the food section of this budget guide. But for now, I'm recharged and I'm ready to start sightseeing again.
Let's go do this. Okay guys, so we just came across a festival. We're gonna quickly check it out because we got a lot to see today.
But maybe I'll get myself a lemonade because I love those here. And this is honestly just why I love Europe. They have festivals everywhere all the time.
All right, let's go check this thing out. Okay, so we just explored the festival and it looks like it's a fine food festival and all the food there looks amazing.
But super expensive. We might come back tomorrow to explore and get a little something, but for now, we just got a little treat, a little raspberry tart, so we're gonna enjoy this and then carry on sightseeing. Cheers!
Okay, yeah, so we're at our next stop, which is Charles Bridge.
We're on it right now. It's so big and wide. There's people selling things on it. There's music playing you can probably hear, and there's really cool statues as well.
And fun fact about Charles Bridge, it is the oldest bridge in Prague.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, definitely somewhere to come check out. Okay guys, while we're walking on the bridge, there's a statue here that you're supposed to touch for good luck. Up there. So we're gonna do that.
Yeah, we feel the good luck.
I can feel it already. This is the statue for reference.
Probably sanitize our hands now.
It's true, we should. Okay guys, so at the end of Charles Bridge on the east side is our next stop, and that's the Old Town...
Bridge Tower.
Dang it, I can't get that one. Old Town Bridge
Had one job.
Tower. So we're gonna go climb to the top now and see what kind of views we can get.
Awesome, let's do this.
Let's go.
Okay guys, so we're at the top. We are hot and sweaty.
True, but this is really a great place to get some views and some pictures. It's just far away enough that you can like see everything, but not too far away that you can still take pictures and see everything in them.
For sure, and I think it's relatively unknown here too. It didn't have a lot of signage kind of going into it.
It's true, I saw one local posted about it, so that's why I came here. All right.
Let's go take in some views.
Alright guys, so we just finished up at the Old Town Bridge Tower and it was actually really cool. We got to climb up and each platform had like a mini exhibit and it told you a little bit more about the history of the tower itself.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that they did that. It was a little pricey to climb the tower, but overall it's kind of worth it. They did get some amazing views up there and the exhibits were pretty interesting.
Yeah, best pictures. I absolutely think it's worth it.
For sure. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is get a snack.
So excited, we've been waiting for this all day. Let's go. Okay guys, so we got a famous dessert here in Prague. It's called chimney cakes. So it's basically like, what would you say, like deep fried dough here, and it's covered in different things. This one's nuts, and it usually has ice cream or whipped cream and then different fillings. Mine is apple pie, and I'm so excited to eat it. Good already.
All right, so we just had chimney cakes.
So absolutely full, but so delicious, so
Absolutely
worth
amazing.
it. I almost never have my own sweets because Noah's definitely the person that likes sweets in this relationship, but I had my own and demolished it. All right, so we're on to our next thing. So I think we're just about there.
Yeah, I think we're pretty close.
Okay, Alright guys, so we're at our next site. So this one is actually a complex of a bunch of different sites. It's called Clementinum.
Yeah, so there's 4 different sites here, which is the Baroque Library, the Observatory Hall, the Astronomical Tower, and the Meridian Hall.
Yes, so all 4 things. So I think it's all in one ticket. So we're gonna go check it out and go and see all these sites. Let's go.
Okay guys, so we just finished up at the Clementinum.
And we're gonna be honest with you guys, that was definitely not worth the cost.
No, not at all.
Probably wouldn't do it at all if I had known. So it includes the 3 things or 4 things. One is just like half a room. So, and it was how much? 300?
300, so like $18 Canadian.
And it was, you have to take a guided tour. You can't just walk around. The coolest thing, the reason I wanted to go was the Baroque Library there, which is gorgeous. But you can't even go in, can't go near it. You just stay at the area, and there's like 10 other people in our group just like pushing each other to take pictures. So I didn't even get to get proper pictures really. So I probably wouldn't do it again. You can't see anything that you really can't see like online. And I would just skip it and do the tower that we just came from because I think that was the most impressive for sure.
For sure.
All right, well, with that being said, we're on to the next thing.
Let's do this. Okay guys, so we're in the Old Town Square.
So this is one of the main squares, as the name would suggest. And there's a lot of things of note here. So there's the famous astronomical clock that we'll show you in a bit here. There's, what is the church called?
Church of Our Lady Before Tyne?
We're not sure.
Something.
And all of these gorgeous buildings that you can see behind us, a lot of places to eat. So we're gonna go take a closer look.
Awesome, let's do this.
Let's go explore. Okay guys, so we're at our next stop. So right behind us you can see the giant head. So this is Franz Kafka. Dang it. Franz Kafka.
Just went over this.
Statue. Don't even start with me. And it's after the guy Franz Kafka. He's a famous artist and novelist from Prague actually, and his whole thing is to demonstrate via art the struggles someone has with anxiety.
Awesome. And so I've heard that something cool is supposed to happen to the statue in a little bit, so we're going to stick around and hope to see it.
All right, let's wait and see. All right, so we just saw the surprise. What did you think?
It was pretty interesting. I can't believe the entire head moves. Like, that's insanely big to move.
Yeah, and how, you said you looked up how heavy it was?
Yeah, it's 42 tons of steel.
It's so crazy. Watching it move is actually pretty cool. So definitely recommend you come and check it out if you're in the area.
For sure.
Okay guys, so the next place we're going to check out is called the Grotta. Honestly, everyone says it's like a cave that you go through into a fairy tale land, so I'm not really sure what to expect.
Yeah, we couldn't find very much information about it, but everybody says to go there, so we're gonna go check it out.
Okay guys, so we transited for quite a while to come out here because it's supposed to be like a cave entrance, and you go through a cave. It's supposed to be like hidden. You find this fairy tale area. That's just not the case.
Not at all.
I want to let you know. So you walk up in a park. There's a cool fountain. It's nice, and then there's this kind of area behind it you can go through that like looks like caves. I don't think it's real, right?
No, it's all man-made.
Okay, so confirmed. And yeah, if you're in the area, it could be a cool place to check out. It won't take more than like 10 minutes for sure. Otherwise, don't waste your time. Although
Also,
it is free.
Don't go if you don't like spiders. They're everywhere in there.
Literally?
They're like everywhere. They're just covered.
It was a lot. So maybe pass on this one unless you're close by, or you want like a free area to maybe have like a cool picnic. There's
Or you like
cool,
spiders.
queue area. Or you like spiders and you're weird like that. Also, we don't understand you. So.
Don't come at us in the comments.
Okay guys, so we're at our next stop, the Museum of Alchemists and Musicians of Old, no, musicians, magicians, oh no. The Museum of Alchemists and Magicians of Old Prague.
You even practiced that one?
Yeah, and it didn't go well apparently. So basically, there's a whole bunch of legends here in Prague about alchemists that used to try to turn different things and metals into gold, and also about magicians that used to live here. So the main area is within the castle grounds, a place that we didn't actually go because you have to pay just to walk down the street, and it's referred to as Golden Lane for that reason. And there's also this museum that you can check out, and apparently there's an actual place where people used to practice magic and stuff, and alchemy there. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. I think it's gonna be really cool. It's supposed to be pretty interactive, so.
Yeah, so we'll see you when it's like. Let's go.
Let's do this. Alright guys, so we just finished up the museum. It was pretty interesting. So there's two parts to the museum. One part is a lower room. It's pretty small, honestly. And so we first thought that was the entire museum. And
also, I'm going to quickly say this is not a budget museum per se.
No, not at all.
No, but really interesting.
Yeah, so we finished up the first room in like 10 minutes. Just a few things, plaques to read. Then the second part, it takes you up into the attic of the the alchemist. I can't remember his name. John Kelly?
Something. Yeah, John Kelly.
And you get to see his lab and where he kind of worked and lived up there, and that's super interesting. They have a lot of displays up
and
there.
And that part is a guided tour, which is really cool because he tells you all about the history of alchemy and the different people, and even Shakespeare was involved in some way. So I definitely recommend you check it out if you're in Prague.
Okay guys, so this is the last stop on our sightseeing tour. This is the one I've been really excited about.
And this is the narrowest street in Prague. So I'm excited to see how narrow it is.
Yeah, let's go check this out.
There's something really cool about it you're going to see in a second. Okay guys, so Noah did the research for this one, so what do we do for this?
So basically I think you walk in and there's a stop light, or street light, that you press and it tells you when you can walk because it's so narrow you can only have a few people walking through it at one time.
Alright, so let's see if we can figure it out. I think we see a picture here, down below. Right there, there's the button. Oh, it says the button right there.
Yeah, so I think it's on here, so we just go in.
Okay. Oh, you pressed it. All right, let's go. Great. It gets narrower.
Yeah, you can touch the sides of my shoulders, and we're through. So it's supposed to be a little restaurant, as I can see it right in front of us here, that you can go eat at, right by the water.
A lot of people have recommended it.
Yeah.
That's a cool experience and it's free, so
go check it out. Traffic lights are an interesting thing that you don't see often, so.
I like it.
Alright guys, it's that time again. It's the budget time. Let's tally up what we spent sightseeing in Prague.
Alright, so the first thing that we went to see was the Prague Castle. And we did it for free, so we walked around. We saw the changing of the guard, which was a really cool experience. We saw all the different courtyards. There's like 7 of them. And walked around to see the outside of the cathedral. You can pay to go in, but we chose not to at this time.
Next up was Charles Bridge. So this is the oldest bridge in the city. Very cool to walk across. There's lots of statues on it, people selling stuff, and just gives really cool views of the city.
Yeah, make sure to touch the gold there for good luck if you're there.
And that is free.
And the next thing we saw was the Old Town Bridge Tower. So we paid 150 crowns to see this. And you climb up, there's different museums on different levels. But it's actually a really cool experience. And I love the photos that we got there, and we got really great views as well.
Yeah. After that, we headed over to Good Food Coffee and Bakery. So we got our favorite dessert there, chimney cakes.
Going to be your favorite too if you try it in Prague.
These are amazing. They cost around 200 crowns for one, but in my opinion, totally worth it. So delicious.
100%. And we're not going to include that in our overall cost just because you might not necessarily go there. Okay, and then the next thing we did was the Clementinum complex, and that included the Baroque Library, the Astronomical Tower, and the Meridian Hall, and there was one other hall. We said it in the beginning.
Astronomers Hall. I think Astrology Hall, something like that.
I'm not sure. It was another hall. And then all of those together was 300 crowns. It's pretty pricey, and that is the one thing that I would say I don't necessarily recommend. You can't go into the library or anything. You just see it from outside. But it was a cool experience nonetheless.
After that, we headed to the Old Town Square. Giant square right in the center of the Old Town. Lots of restaurants, cafes, everything around that, people hanging out. It's just cool to go sit in there and look at the giant churches and everything like that in there.
And all the pastel buildings are so gorgeous there. And speaking of the Old Town Square, we saw the astronomical clock, which is one of the main sights to see in Prague. It's really pretty. It's free to see. You can go inside, I believe, but it was later when you were there, and I don't think it was open anymore.
After that, we went to the Franz Kafka moving head statue. This is one of the coolest things I honestly think I saw here in Prague. It is a massive 42-ton statue that moves every hour for 15 minutes. So I think there's 42 different plates, and they rotate around the head, making different patterns. It's really crazy.
I loved it. It was really cool to see, and also free. All right, and then we went to the Grotta, which was free as well. It's kind of on, not the outskirts per se, but it's a little bit far away. And it's a really cool fountain there, and we got to go through the cave area. There's lots of spiders. Not as magical as people say. I'm not sure why people say that, but it is a cool place to go and hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, I'd skip this one personally. I think there's better
if you're
parks
in the
area,
maybe check it out.
After that, we went to the Museum of Alchemists and Magicians. So this was an interesting museum, and while it wasn't cheap, it cost 310 crown to get into the museum. It was very cool in the second part of the museum and did have some very interactive things there.
I was really interested in the history of this. I think it's really cool, so I definitely wanted to check that out since we didn't check out the Golden Lane. And then next up we went to the narrowest street in Prague. So this is just kind of like, I guess, a little gimmick thing that you can do, but it's really cool. There's a stoplight you can use. It's just a neat experience. It takes like 2 seconds, so I definitely recommend coming and doing this. Okay guys, so our grand total is 760 crown, which equals $44.35 in Canadian. But we need to preface this by saying that this was over 3 different days of sightseeing. So if you divide that by 3, it'll be about $14–15 per day. So that's actually super affordable.
Yeah, honestly, sightseeing in Prague was not that expensive, and we did see some very cool things that were free. So definitely a great place for budget travel.
Definitely recommend you just pick what you think you're interested in and stick to that. Don't do too many things, because things can add up quite a bit if you do absolutely everything, like go into the castle, do all the different museums. There's a lot to do here, so it's pretty overwhelming. Also, just a quick note, if you are a student, things here are incredibly cheaper if you tell them that you're a student. We are still university students technically, kind of.
We have student IDs.
So it gets us a lot of discounts. We're giving you guys the full price, but a lot of those were half the price. So definitely recommend you do that. And if you are a student, use that to your advantage while you can. Okay guys, so now it's time to talk about arguably the most important thing when you're traveling, and that's food. So first we want to tell you a little bit about what we think you should try while in Prague.
So the first dish we wanted to talk to you about is pork knuckle. So it's a roasted pork pig's knee served with gravy and some few other things. And this is probably my favorite dish here in Prague.
Definitely his favorite. He's always trying to track it down. All right, and then the next one is a traditional dish of beef sirloin, and it has creamy peppery sauce on it with lemon, whipped cream, and cranberries on top, and it's often served with sliced bread dumplings.
Last dish we wanted to talk to you about is pork neck. This is a slice of pork neck served with gravy, fried onions, and bread dumplings. So delicious.
This one caught me by surprise. I thought it was really simple, but it's out of this world taste, and I would have that anything else. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about
Drinks.
Prague water. Beer.
Yeah. So there's 2 main beers you want to try here in Prague that are kind of their national beers, and that's Kozel and Pilsner Urquell. I think I said that right. And they're both very cheap here in Prague. You can find them everywhere at almost any restaurant.
Right, and last for the food is chimney cake. So the dessert, it's a yeast dough cake, and it's made into like a circle, a cylinder, I guess. And you can fill it with any ingredients imaginable. Every place does it differently. I had an apple pie one, and it was so good.
All right, next up are the restaurants where you can get this food. So the first restaurant we recommend is Restaurant You Can Cheat.
No. We'll put those on the screen. So this one, I recommend you get the pork neck here. That's where we had it, and it was to die for.
Next one up is Pivar U Medvidku.
You can try it. This one is like a classic kind of German beer hall, and it's really good.
And the last one is U Studaka.
And this is the best budget place that we could find. We had 2 meals that day. What else did we have? We had 2 meals that day, 2 beers, and 2 sides, and all of it was less than just a pork knuckle at another restaurant. Steal of a deal, so I'd definitely go there. Okay guys, and now let's just talk a little bit about the food costs in Prague. So we want to tell you quickly, the main currency is called the crown. That's what people are calling
Koruna.
Okay, it's pronounced that way, but people say crown when they ask for the money.
True.
So it's CK, and 1 Canadian dollar, just so you guys know, is equal to 17 CK right now as we're making this video. So let's just talk about what an average day would look like for food.
So for breakfast out in the city, getting something like pancakes, which you can find pretty commonly here, costs you about 130 crowns.
And then for a latte with your breakfast, it'll cost you about 50 crowns on average.
An order of pork neck, one of our favorites, it would cost you about 150 crowns.
And that's for lunch. And then for dinner, we put beef sirloin, and that's about 220 crowns.
And accompanied with a beer, which would be about 40 crowns.
So in total, if you eat out for the entire day, it'll cost you about 590 crowns, which equals to 34.50 Canadian. So it's actually really good for eating out in a full day.
Deals we've had ever.
When we added it up, we were shocked. But we also want to say that we don't eat breakfast out because Europe doesn't really do breakfast as much as maybe North America we found, or we've just found it difficult to find breakfast places. So we usually just make our own breakfast at home, and we buy enough for the week. So it equals to about $4 for breakfast in total for us. And that cuts costs a lot. Alright guys, so that's it for our budget guide to Prague, Czech Republic. If you guys have any questions at all about budget travel in Prague, don't hesitate to comment down below. We'd love to help you out.
Make sure to give us a follow if you're liking our content so that you don't miss out on any money-saving tips so that you can travel more.
Alright, I hope this has inspired you to travel and helped you to plan your next adventure.
As always, stay safe and happy travels.